For those of you who know me, you know I'm much more than a ruggedly handsome musician. I'm also an intellectual. Hence the reason why I call my band Pointdexter. Love science, always have. So from now on, I'm going to do a couple of scientific videos. This first video is going to be how and why I made a home Bitcoin mining business. So keep in mind, this is not financial advice. This is for education purposes only, all right? Before diving in, I really want to recommend these two books. They really changed and enlightened my perspective. The first book is Ray Dalio's Changing World Order. This explores the rise and falls of empires through economic cycles. It really gives you an idea of where we are economically today. The second book is The Price of Tomorrow by Jeff Booth. Now, this explains how technology has an effect on economics and how it's deflationary. It also explores how in a true capitalistic society with a strong monetary base, technology would push us more towards a utopian future. This becomes incredibly relevant when it comes to AI, automation, and robotics. Now, I'll cover some of those topics in the future. And finally, for some of my fellow engineering and science nerds out there, I highly recommend listening to Michael Saylor. Now, he has a lot of great speeches, but one of the most compelling things that he said that really gave me an epiphany was think of wealth in terms of energy. I realized that the highest form of money is energy. In today's modern age, it takes a lot of energy to process data. Now think about it. If knowledge is power, data is knowledge, then the more data you can process, the more value you can provide. Now, some people make the argument that gold is a better store of value than Bitcoin. Now, I'll ask you this. Do you think the future is going to be more digital or less? If you really think the world's going to end up going backwards, then what's going to be more valuable, gold or guns and ammo? Now, if you came to the same conclusion that I did, that it's going to be more digital, then Bitcoin really stands out. It's decentralized, it can't be inflated, and there's no asking for permission. Try taking $100,000 of gold on a plane, or try taking $100,000 of cash on a plane. It will get confiscated before you even board. Now, with Bitcoin, you could travel anywhere with $100,000 or $1 million and spend it anywhere in the world. So I had to give you that background just so you can get a little perspective on what Bitcoin mining is. The best analogy for a Bitcoin mining machine is think of an ATM machine, but instead of processing transactions in a store or anything like that, you're able to process transactions all around the world. And just like an ATM machine, it charges you a fee in order to process transactions. Only difference is in Bitcoin mining, it costs a lot of energy in order to process those transactions because it's solving complex mathematical problems. So how can a person produce their own energy? Solar. Now, one of the hesitations with solar is that when you overproduce, you only get credited for some of these utility companies. But with Bitcoin, you're able to take that excess energy and produce it into a digital currency. There's a huge opportunity in solar with a federal rebate program that will give you 30% back on all solar installations. Now, there's another program that will give you $2,500 back on upgrading your HVAC installation. Now, why upgrade your HVAC? Well, the less energy you use on your house, the more energy you have for Bitcoin mining. Let's break down my personal system. I have a 20 kilowatt system that I bought for around $50,000. Now, with the federal rebate program, I got $15,000 back. With that $15,000, I was able to make renovations to a well house that I converted to a data server room. Now, I also upgraded my HVAC system, which in turn, I got $2,500 back. Now, we could go into what Bitcoin miner is the best. That's a separate video. But what I ended up settling on was a WhatsMiner M50 unit. Now, terahash is the rate that you're able to process data. So remember, the faster you're able to process data, the more valuable you are to the Bitcoin network. Now, power usage is important when you're sizing your system. So that particular unit is around 3,400 watts. The cost of that unit cost me around $1,800. So what I have on my solar system is a Tesla Powerwall, and one of the great features about it is being able to monitor how much you import and export power-wise so you can break even every month. Now, I underestimated how much energy I would actually consume. So with a 20 kilowatt system, I'm not running 24/7. So my current daily revenue is around $1.20 to $3.45 a day. Now, at Bitcoin's current price, 365 days a year, that gives me $848. So $848 doesn't seem like a lot. But if I had $30,000 and I put it into a savings account, well, that produces about the same amount. Now, Bitcoin versus a savings account has a different factor to it. it appreciates. So Bitcoin has appreciated in value for the last 15 years, on average, double every year since its creation. So if we track that, by 2025, we're talking $200,000 Bitcoin. By 2026, we're talking $400,000 Bitcoin. By 2027, we have $800,000 Bitcoin. By 2028, $1.6 million Bitcoin. So, taking that into account, 0.03325 of a Bitcoin by 2028 will equate to approximately $32,000 to $64,000. So there's a lot of other key benefits to running a Bitcoin mining business at home. One is the tax deductions, and two is locking in your electricity rate. Now, my electricity cost in 2022 was $2,130. My electricity cost in 2023 was $2,888. Now, that's a 36% increase. So if inflation's guaranteed, which let's be honest, it pretty much is, and we'll be generous, we'll say 11% per year over the span of 10 years. By 2034, I would spend in total $62,000 in electricity. So let's put this in perspective. By 2028, if what I mine equates to $32,000 to $64,000, well, I'm able to pay off my entire solar loan in just 4 years. Or my other option is hang on to my Bitcoin and continue to service the loan. Rich people have debt. Their true measure of wealth is their assets. We're in a debt-based economy. The world's looking for a safe haven. And realistically, Bitcoin's going to be that safe haven. I hope you all enjoyed this video. So until next time, peace.